Broncos country and Bronco fans everywhere. Welcome to Elevation Orange on the MHRT network. This is a recap show of the previous Broncos 5-game winning streak game. I am your host, Bronco Bill. All right, guys, like I mentioned before, it's not a long show. It's a recap show, but I welcome your comments and everything in the chat. That's always a highlight of the show as I see it. You guys make it the best, so bring it on. Bring your comments, bring your emotion, bring your takes. I will put it up. We will discuss it, and let's just live up the moment of Broncos on a 5-game winning streak. Now, you're probably wondering why I'm wearing the Avalanche hat. Got the Avalanche lighter color here. Doesn't quite match, but it's lighter color. Broncos jersey, of course. We're on a 5-game winning streak for the Broncos. I'm also, personally, and all of Bronco fans and Avalanche fans, we are on a 5-game win streak heading into tonight. Avalanche won on Friday. Avalanche won on Saturday. Avalanche won on Saturday. Broncos won on Sunday. Broncos won on Sunday. That's 3. Then we have the Chargers lost Sunday night. And tonight I'm hoping the Avalanche win as well as the Minnesota Vikings. Those are my Minnesota Vikings, as you guys well know, is my NFC favorite team. Okay, they play tonight. The Chicago Bears. It's on Monday Night Football, 5:15 p.m. The Avalanche play tonight at 6 p.m. I'm on a high, guys. I don't not physically, but I mean emotionally with the Avalanche winning, the Broncos winning. I mean, that game yesterday was incredible. I'll get into the stats. I'll get into some comments and things like that. Before I get into any of that, I want to bring up the what I call the best part of the show, and that's you people watching and chiming in on the chat. Bronco E says, "What's up, Broncos country?" I said, "What's up, Big E?" But then you threw me a loop. You said you changed it up, and now you're Broncos country cooking up W's. I love it, man. I love it. And then he follows up by saying, "I hope I was wrong." I think you mean I hope I wasn't wrong. I called 5 wins in a row. Now I hope I'm not wrong. I hope I'm wrong because I want to keep striking. Well, I hope you're saying you hope you're not wrong, because 5 great wins. And I'll break some of those wins down because it's very important moving forward. So I'll get into that. Avatar, what is up, my friend? I was just talking to Madungus Crew today. Said I haven't seen you in a while, man. How you been? Where you been? What's up? He said, "What's up, Broncos country and 2023 NBA champs, Nuggets Nation?" Absolutely. Dylan in the house. Dylan, thanks so much for being on the show yesterday in the chat. Really appreciate it. Thanks so much for your support and being a new person in the chat. Really appreciate it. Everybody in the chat, please give Dylan a hand. New subscriber, new person to watching. David from Colorado, what's up? 5 in a row. You got that right, my friend. You got that right. Dylan says, "Is Mike with you?" No, he's not. The Elevation Orange is just myself doing the recap. Madungus Creevy / Mike. He does so many other things behind the scenes and all of that. He's got 6 kids. He's married. He just has a whole lot of oars in the water. And sometimes I think he's just going around in circles. So he kind of throws me to the wolves, so to speak, and tells me to go ahead and go solo. So that's what I'm doing. All right. Kevon Johnson, number 40. Love it, man. Love it. Absolutely. Great thoughts right there, man. Avatar says Nuggets will be out Jokic, Gordon, and Murray tonight. Wow. So there's 3 great games I'm going to watch tonight. Avalanche, Nuggets, and Vikings. Wow. Talk about the up absolute trifecta. Perfect. That's not good, though. Jokic, Gordon, and Murray. Avatar, are they injured? What's the deal? Why are they out? That seems like way too many key players out for the game tonight. That's not good. I think Kevon Johnson's naming all the Bronco players that were instrumental yesterday. You got 33, which is Williams. You got 19, which is Mims. I don't know who number 1 is. Who's number 1? I don't recall. Well, sorry about that. Just don't recall. Avatar says, yes, they're injured. Oh, my gosh. Wow. Well, no wonder they've been playing somewhat like a roller coaster, win, lose, win, lose. That to me is that's very, very unfortunate. Very unfortunate moving forward. All right. Speaking of moving forward, let's move into yesterday's game. Yesterday's? Kind of weird. Into yesterday's game. You can tell, guys, I'm giddy, man. I am so freaking giddy that we're in second place at 6-5. I never thought this. When we were 1-5, I never thought we would be at this spot. In fact, I was even thinking, and I believe I may have said on one of my Friday shows, Broncos Breakdown Show, I may have said that could Sean Payton be worse than Nathaniel Hackett? I believe I said that. And I felt it. I absolutely felt it. I don't feel it anymore. I don't feel it. I mean, I'm so giddy. It's just, come on, Broncos country. Come on. You've got to know what I'm talking about. We haven't felt this in 6 freaking years. Since 2015, Super Bowl 50 with, not Sean Payton, with Peyton Manning and Gary Kubiak and Von Miller. And we haven't felt this. We haven't felt. No, stop for a second. I know what you guys are thinking. Slow down, Bronco Bill. We're not in the playoffs yet. We're not in the Super Bowl. I know we're not, but we're also not 1-5 or 1-10 or whatever. Yeah, we're not. We're 6-5, not 1-5, not 1-10, 6-5. I'm trying to wrap my head around this. It's exciting in Broncos country. The Avalanche are doing well. The Broncos are doing well. The Nuggets need to do well. And I know, but I'm just saying, my gosh, this is fun. This is fun again. It's fun doing the neighborhood on Sundays with Madungus Creevy. It's fun doing my shows on Friday, Broncos Breakdown. It's fun doing the Elevation Orange. Why? Because we're winning. Wins makes persons happy. It does. It makes people happy. I mean, it's, Christmas is right around the corner, guys. It really is. It's just a few days away till we hit December. And then we're into the Christmas season. I'm just saying. Christmas around the corner. Could the Broncos be in a Christmas package under the tree? Could the Broncos season be in a Christmas gift under the tree? Why not? Why not? And I'll get into some of that right now. Okay, let me go into some of the stats from yesterday. Okay, because these are interesting. And I don't know if any of you out there watch my show. I know some of you in the chat were in the chat last Friday. And I mentioned that the Broncos have an opportunity, or on pace, I should say, to tie or break the 2008 Pittsburgh Steelers record of average defensive yards given up across the entire season. The average was 200, and I think it was 250 or 249 point something, but somewhere around there, average. Now, I understand that the game against the Miami Dolphins, that skewed that whole thing up because, I mean, we gave up tremendous amount of yardage, but that is still counted in. And even though that amount is counted in, the Broncos right now are averaging 242 yards a game total, giving up as a defensive team. They gave up, and I'll get into that, what they gave up yesterday, but it's still in part of the average. You gotta understand, it's average. It's highs and lows and then divided in that whole bit. So let's go on to the stats from yesterday. All right. First off, Denver was favored by 2.5 points coming in this game yesterday. Denver coming in the game was 5-5. Cleveland coming into the game was 7-3. How in heaven's name was Denver favored by 2.5? Obviously, Vegas knew something. Vegas knew something. I don't know how they know, but they did. Anyways, Denver favored by 2.5. They win by 17, 29-12. You're like, 29-12? I haven't heard that before. You're right. You haven't, because it was the very first time in NFL history that a final score in the NFL was recorded as 29-12. There you go. Denver's in the record books again. They were in the record books earlier this year against the Dolphins at a 70-20 beatdown. And they're in the record books again for a final score that's never been done before in the history of NFL with 29-12. All right, here it is. First off, Denver scored in every single quarter. 7 in the first, 7 in the second, 3 in the third, and 12 in the fourth. All right. Cleveland was 6 points in the second, 6 in the third. That was it. All right. Let's go to the Broncos passing. Russell Wilson was 13-22 for 134, 1 touchdown, no interceptions again. That's critical. That's crucial. No interceptions again. All right. Javonte Williams, not spectacular. Didn't have to be. 18 carries for 65 yards, average of 3.6. Samaje Perine, 7 attempts, 55 yards, 1 touchdown, average of 7.9. Why they don't use this guy more, I don't understand. Samaje Perine is a beast. He really is. Did you watch the game and see him on that goal line? He got the ball at about, the Broncos were in a goal line. I think they're on the 4-yard line, 4 or 5. He took the ball, I think, at the 6 or 7, and slammed into the line and kept driving, and then crossed the line. It was close. It was close, but they gave him the touchdown and crossed the line. That is incredible. That is absolutely incredible feat. All right, Russell Wilson rushed for 11 times. He scrambled 11 times, 34 yards, and a touchdown on that end around that came around. That was brilliant. His average was 3.1. All right, receiving, Courtland Sutton, 3 receptions, 61 yards on 6 targets. Mims, 2 receptions, 24 yards on 3 targets. And Jerry Jeudy, 2 catches, 11 yards on 3 targets. All right, now total yards. Hang on. Oh, God, I almost dropped out of that. Trying to get to. Okay, so here it is. Let me break it down. This is phenomenal when it comes to the defense. All right, Denver's total yards, 294 offense, Cleveland's 269. Passing yards, Denver 125, Cleveland 162. Rushing, Denver 169, Cleveland 107. Let me get to the total yards. Total yards, let me get to the total yards real quick. Where are they? Yeah, total yards. I'm sorry. Denver, total yards 294. Cleveland 269. Now, I mentioned earlier, their average has to be at 250 or a little lower. So this is really close. 269. That's only 69 yards above. So the average is going to play in here. But the point I'm trying to make is Denver's defense is coming around, and we all wanted to lambaste Vance Joseph and throw him under the bus or kick him off the team and never come back and just vacate the country or something. I don't know. But he's turned it around. I don't know how he has. I don't know what changed. I don't care. It's a heck of a lot better than it was. Absolutely a heck of a lot better than it was. Before I get into some of the plays that I want to talk about and get you guys' opinion on that as well, let me go back to the chat. Let's see. Avatar is going back to the Avalanche. Topic says this will be the first game without Jokic tonight. Oh, I'm not liking that. I'm not liking that a bit. Jokic is our triple-double all across the board. And without him, that's going to be very, very tough. Dylan says, you know what? Dylan, that's a great comment. I really need to have access to be able to do this. I need to talk to Mundungus Creevy, who is the owner of the network, to be able to bring this up. But for those of you who can't see it, Dylan Kuhn says, Bronco Bill, are you going to pull up the highlights? I like I said, I love to do that. I want to do that. I've been trying to figure out a way to do it, but apparently it has to be done on the ownership side. That's Mundungus Creevy. So I'm going to get in contact with him. And when it comes to these Elevation Orange shows, I need to be able to bring up highlights. I need to be able to bring up what is actual factual. Don't take it from me, guys. I'm trying to be as factual as I can. I'm trying to bring you the very, very honest truth. But when you see it, it is a lot better. So, Dylan, I appreciate that. As soon as this show is over, I am going to contact Mundungus Creevy, and we're going to get this straightened out. All right. Really appreciate it. Thanks so very, very much for that comment and insight. I will make sure that gets done on my next show come next Monday. Let's see. Avatar says, unfortunately, he can't have highlights due to the copyrights. You can't, Avatar, you can't have full highlights, but you can have like snippets. You can have like a picture. I believe so. I mean, look at what Mundungus puts up with these little brand things that he comes up with, Scooby-Doo, or not Scooby-Doo, stuff like that. You know what I'm talking about. When he pulls up the different snippets from movies or whatever, you can put up, I think you can put up to 13 or 15 seconds worth of material without being hit with a copyright. But I will check that out, though. I'll make sure, Dylan, that I check that out. I'll do my due diligence as soon as I'm off the show tonight, and I will make sure that we let everybody know going forward. All right, let's see. Dylan says Cortland Sutton did good yesterday. Cortland Sutton, yeah, he wasn't what he was in the Buffalo game or the Vikings game, but he didn't need to be. The Broncos game yesterday was a run attack. And that's exactly what Sean Payton is basic formula is. Run first, pass second. The run opens up the passing game, and sometimes the passing game opens up the running game. It all depends. But yesterday's run game was working. It was working. Pyrene was amazing. Williams was also very, very good. Russell Wilson ran 11 times. Not that I wanted him to. He fumbled once, which was unfortunate. But, for the most part, the Broncos did what they had to do. And that's the thing that I've been talking about these last 5 games of the winning streak. Don't try and be what you can't be. Be what you are. Be what is best. Be what is your bread and butter. And the bread and butter for the Broncos right now is controlling the ball, using the run game, and passing, using the passing game to open up the run game, or use the run game to open up the passing game. It's been working. Okay, I'm going to throw something out there, and I did this yesterday in the Broncos neighborhood show. I want to throw this out there. When did it change? Well, I think we all know when it changed, but I'm going to throw out there. When did this turnaround change, and what do you guys think was the catalyst to turning this team around? What was it? We were 1-5 before we went on a 5-game win streak. What in heaven's name turned this team around? It was chaotic on this team. It really was. People were doubting Vance Joseph, myself included. I was doubting Sean Payton, of all people. I was doubting Russell Wilson. I was doubting George Payton, or GM. I really was. I was saying, why aren't the owners getting involved in this? Okay, guys, answer that question for me, please. What changed? And I know when it changed. It changed in the 7th game. But what changed? What do you guys think was the catalyst to turn this team around to win 5 in a row. All right. Let's see. Jerry Wallace. Hey, welcome, Jerry. Nice to have you in the chat. Really do appreciate it. Browns have been playing home or been playing lame team. Wow. Wait a minute, Jerry. All right, Jerry. Oh, you're talking about because of their record? Or you're talking about because you're thinking that the Broncos are lame? I don't think that's what you're saying. You got an orange. I don't know. I think you're bleeding orange, but you said the Browns have been playing lame teams. Okay, I'm hoping you mean up to Denver and with their record. But if you're calling Denver a lame team, that's fine. I'll take a 5-win streak. It's okay. Yes. Welcome, Graham, into the chat. Glad to have you, my friend. Haven't seen you in a while, man. How you been? Hope you're doing well. Graham says, in a Russian TD for Russ. Yes, that was a brilliant play. Brilliant play. Comes around, it takes a snap. It kind of looks like he's going to pass and then runs right around and just goes right in the end zone. That was a great run. Great play. Great design. I really thought yesterday's game was very thought out by the coaches. Sean Payton, of course, the lead head coach. I thought it was very well thought out. It was very well orchestrated. If you look at the game and go back and look at the highlights or look at even, a condensed part of the game, the Broncos were methodical in what they did. They didn't try and throw deep, every other play or try and do trick plays. They did a couple, which I thought was stupid, like the little pitch back on 3rd and 1. Why are you pitching it back 3 yards? I thought that was dumb. There's a couple of other plays that just didn't make sense. But overall, I thought it was very methodical, very thought out, very orchestrated, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very well done. Very well done. And in the end, the Broncos win it by 17 points. Did I ever think the Broncos would beat the Browns by 17? Absolutely not. In fact, I think on my Friday show, I was hoping, and I even said I thought the Broncos would win 21-17 on a late touchdown like they did against the Vikings. But in reality, I was looking at the Browns. I was thinking with my heart, guys. I was thinking with my heart. My head said, hey, wait a minute. The Cleveland Browns are a 7-3 team. They have the best defense in the NFL. How in heaven's name am I supposed to pick the Broncos to beat the number 1 defense when we barely beat the Vikings and they have the number 3 defense? And I'm thinking, how are we going to beat the Browns? But that's why I'm not the head coach. That's why Sean Payton's the head coach, because he knows a lot more stuff than I do. In fact, he'll forget a lot more than I know. That being said, I'm looking at this game thinking there's no way we can beat him. And then we beat him by 17. Why? Because of the things that had to happen. The Broncos had to control the ball, which they did. For the most part, they did. They had to get turnovers. They got 3 of them. They got 3 fumbles. And they had to have the defense stop the Browns' attack. And they did. Okay, now, before I move on to my next topic, which is going to get me all rattled up, let's see. Graham asked a good question. When was the last time we had a 100-yard wide receiver in a game? Demaryius Thomas? Yeah, I'm thinking Demaryius Thomas. Was it Cortland Sutton in 2019? I think it might have been Cortland Sutton in 2019. Now that I think about it. Cortland Sutton, Jerry Judy. That's a good question. I'll have to look that up. Okay. Avatar says Broncos run the 3-yard lane when Pyrene ran in the touchdown. He was hit the 5-yard and strong-armed the defense. Yes, that was an absolute fantastic run by Pyrene. Absolutely fantastic run. And yes, even though the ball's placed at the 3, he's not going to get the ball until 4 yards back, about the 7. So yeah, I mean that was a tremendous run by Pyrene. It sparked the Broncos big time. Got them on the board 7-0, and they were on Broncos were on a roll ever since after that. Let's see. I like what Dylan said. This is good. He says, Dylan Kuhn says, Dolphins made us do good. Yes, they did. Okay, going back to the question that I had was, what do you think the turnaround was? Okay, well, you're going all the way back to the Dolphins game. And I would have to agree with that. That was a wake-up call. That was an absolute wake-up call for Vance Joseph on defense, the entire Broncos team, offense, defense, special teams, coaching staff, head coach Sean Payton, general man. Everybody was on notice. Everybody was on notice after that 70-20 beatdown. And I will have to agree with you, Dylan. That may have been the turning point. It really may have been the turning point where the Broncos said, okay, all right, guys, enough's enough. You know, we got embarrassed. All right, something's got to change. I don't know what the change was, though. That's what I'm confused about. Did Vance Joseph give in to the players? I don't mean give in, but did he make the defensive scheme easier? Or did he just put the players into position against the offensive players to perform at their best? I don't know. But whatever he did, whatever they did, whoever he, they, whatever the coaching staff did, it has made a tremendous difference. 5-game win streak. All right. Damian Warren, love to have you in the chat. Thanks so much. He says, by the grace of God, absolutely. Hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving and Christmas is right down the corner. And let's not forget what Christmas is all about, guys. Let's not. All right. Dylan says Dolphins are the reason we turned around because they don't want to take that 720. Yeah, you're right. It was a turnaround. I really believe it was a turnaround. Clayton Huron is in the house. Clayton says, hey, bud. I say, hey, Clayton, what's up, man? Hit that like button, hit that subscription button or whatever you say. I know it's coming pretty soon here, so I'll read it. There it is. Smash that like button and share, guys. Yep. I appreciate it, Clayton. Thanks so much, man. Kamani, what is up, my friend? Kamani in the house. Hey, Bill, I am here, but it's okay. I always say to you guys, it doesn't matter when you come in. It really doesn't. It's totally up to you. I'm here. You know the time I come on. Anytime you can jump in and chime in, absolutely love it. You guys are busy people. You have things to do. It's the holiday season. I am so grateful. Seriously, I mean this from the heart, guys. I'm being honest. I mean this from the heart. I am so grateful and so honored, seriously, that you would take the time out of your very busy day, your very busy weekend, your very busy start of the week, whenever it is. I appreciate it deeply and greatly that you guys seriously take the time to come in, to watch the show, to be in the chat, and to express your thoughts, your questions, whatever, and understand and know that I will answer them very, very honestly, humbly, and sincerely. All right, guys, I mean that from the heart. You guys make this show. Absolutely make this show. I can't thank you enough. Really can't. All right. Clayton says, man, oh, man, absolutely love it. Playing great ball on offense and defense. Yes, we are. Yes. And this is what I love about the way the Broncos are playing now. Russell Wilson is able to do what Russell Wilson does best. He stands back in the pocket. He reads the defense. When he starts feeling it collapse, he gets out of the pocket and makes things happen. Wait a minute. Wasn't there another great Broncos player that did that as a quarterback? Oh, yes. John Elway, right there. Picture of me and him right there. John Elway did the same thing. If you guys ever watched some of John Elway's game, how about Super Bowl 50 where he scrambled out and did that whirlybird for a first down? How about the playoff games against the then Houston Oilers? How about the games against the Cleveland Browns? Speaking of the Browns that we just played. I mean, we own the Browns. John Elway literally owns the Browns. And he passed it on down to Russell Wilson this past game. I'm just saying, it's uncanny how this team is. And when Russell Wilson can be Russell Wilson, We have a better Broncos team. This defense is playing better. Justin Simmons is the best safety in all of football. And Patrick Surtain II, it's the best corner in all of football. I mean, our defense is solid. Is it the no-fly zone part 2? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's the no road zone or no travel zone or whatever. The running game. Our defense is not the best I've seen in Broncos teams before, but they're very, very close. They're a bend but don't break team. That scares me because when you bend and don't break, you're allowing them to control the ball basically from their own 20 to the Broncos 20. That's a lot of yardage. That's 60 yards. And, you don't want them to eat up that much time and possession time and then turn up with a field goal, only to have the Broncos go down and go 3 and out. That hasn't happened lately. The Broncos don't go 3 and out all that often anymore. And they didn't yesterday. They punted, I think they punted, 4 times maybe? 4 times? Excuse me, guys. And that's it. This Bronco team is not the Bronco team of 1-5. It's not, guys. It's not. And if you're not sitting back on a Monday evening, wherever you are, with a smile on your face that the Broncos are 5 in a row with wins, beating. Now, we didn't beat lowly teams. Okay, we didn't. Okay, we start out the run of 5 in a row by beating the Green Bay Packers. Well, any given Sunday, any team can win. We see that week in and week out. Okay, we beat the Packers. All right, it wasn't a runaway game, but it doesn't matter. Win by 1 point or 101 points, you still win. Broncos beat the Green Bay Packers. Then the hard road started. We played the Kansas City Chiefs. Nobody gave us a chance. We beat them by 19. 19. No, excuse me, 15. Let me go back to that. Because now I'm messing with myself. Anyway, okay. 15. All right, we beat the Packers by 2. Then we beat the Chiefs. Nobody gave us a chance to win. We beat them by 15. Then we had the all-important bye. Why do I say all-important? Because it gave us rest. It gave the Bronco players rest. And they could focus on beating Buffalo in Buffalo that they hadn't won there in forever. Beat the Buffalo Bills by 2. Then we've come home and play the Vikings. That was a tough game. Why? Because the Vikings were the number 3 defense going in that game. Denver wins it late by a fantastic Courtland Sutton catch. Broncos win it by 1. And then yesterday, against the Cleveland Browns, nobody gave us a chance. Vegas had the Broncos favored by 2.5. I didn't believe it because the Cleveland Browns have the number 1 defense. How are you going to beat that? You're going to beat it by the way the Broncos beat it. Running the ball, smash mouth, in your face type of football, and then open it up, get pass interference on Courtland Sutton or against Courtland Sutton on the first drive that resulted in the Pyrene touchdown. And you just keep feeding the ball to the running backs, Williams and Pyrene. And Russell Wilson ran for 11 yards and a touchdown. Yes, absolutely. Great game plan. Fantastic game plan. And the defense, again, stepped up and did what they had to do. They bent, but they didn't break. They gave up a touchdown, but the 2-point conversion was failed. So that's why they ended up 12. 2 field goals and a touchdown, missed 2-point conversion. Defense is looking great. The Broncos team as a whole is looking great, but it can't stop now, guys. It has to continue. It has to continue. And we have an early game next Sunday. I'll get into that on my Broncos breakdown show on Friday. You guys want to know what I think about that? Tune in on Friday. I have many topics as always. But I'm saying right now, it can't slow down. Like Sean Payton said, you cannot exhale now. You cannot take you can't take a break. You can't take time off. It's focus time. It's push time. It's mandatory focus time. We've dodged 4 big hurdles in this 5-game win streak. Chiefs, Bills, Vikings, Browns. Now we got the Texans at Houston this coming Sunday. It's not going to be easy, guys. Is it winnable? Absolutely. But you cannot let your guard down. You cannot look past the Texans towards the Chargers. You can't. You can't look down the road and see Detroit. You can't look down the road and see the Chargers again or the Raiders. You can't. You can't look past this Sunday. With that said, the Broncos are 6-5, 5-game winning streak, second place in the AFC West, and we're one spot out of the wild card slot. We're in the hunt, guys. We're big time in the hunt, and we can do wonders and leapfrog into that wild card spot with a victory this coming Sunday at Houston. Early game, morning game on the West Coast. 1 o'clock game, I guess it would be on the East Coast. Guys, it's going to be intense. The neighborhood is going to be there. Broncos neighborhood is going to be there at 10 o'clock in the morning Pacific time. Set your clocks, guys. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be fun. All right, before I get out of here, let's see. Clayton Aron says, great way to top off a Monday night, bro. Love it. Thanks so much, man. Thanks so much. I don't know if you're talking about my show or if you're talking about, Avalanche game or something. I don't know, but thanks so much, man, for your support, Clayton. Really, really do appreciate each and every one of you. Greatly appreciate your support as always. Clayton says, waterproof my house, plastic on all windows to keep the cold. What the heck? Oh, winter-proof. What do you mean by winter-proof? Clayton, I'm sorry. I live in Southern California, man. I know what rain is like, and sometimes you gotta, put tarps on your roof if you got a roof leak or something. But I've never heard of winter-proof your house. Plastic on all windows to keep the cold out. I would think I would think plastic would draw the cold, kind of like metal or. I don't know, man. Like I said, I don't live in that type of climate, so I can't elaborate. But wow, that's crazy, man. That's. Now, I haven't heard of it. Now I have friends that live in Colorado, in Windsor, just east of Fort Collins, and they have to drain their sprinkler pipes so that they don't freeze. And they have to have some type of heat thing or something for their pipes in their house for cold water. I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, wow. I mean, I live in Southern California. The only thing we got to worry about is what they call Santa Ana winds that blow in from the deserts with the hot air, and then that you have a chance of fires and stuff. But wow, that's crazy, man. D-Rock, what is up, my friend? D-Rock said, Big Bill. I say, what's up, Big D-Rock, man? Absolutely, man. Glad to have you in the chat for sure. Absolutely, for sure. Let me say, good point. Good point, Damian Warren. He says, I will say the Broncos had chances in the loss. Absolutely. We should have beaten the Raiders game 1. We should have beaten the Redskins, the Commanders. Should have beaten them in game 2. We had the lead at halftime and then decided not to play the second half, I guess. We had a chance to get the Chiefs in Kansas City. We had chances. We had a chance to get the Dolphins before the game started. I know I'm being facetious, but you know what I'm saying. That was the only game we didn't have a chance at all, my friend. Let's see. Broncos country cooking up. That's who is that? Then we go back to the top. Who is that? I know who it is. That's Big E. Big E says had to drop out for a bit, but I'm back. I'm assuming that's what he's saying. I'm back. Yes, Dylan, I agree. Like I mentioned earlier, that triggered something in Denver after the game we just snapped. Absolutely. The game against Miami, in my opinion, as well as Dylan and others have said, that the game against the Dolphins was the turning point. When we got our back hind kicked, literally, I mean, horse kicked, that was a wake-up call. And a lot of people, including myself, were wanting Vance Joseph to be fired. Absolutely. Because it was a mess. It was 1-5. We looked like we looked like Nathaniel Hackett, even worse. And I even commented in one of my shows, I can't believe that Sean Payton looks worse than Nathaniel Hackett. But that wasn't the problem. The problem was the defense. And the problem was Vance Joseph. And he got it corrected. Like I mentioned earlier and in other shows. I don't know what transpired. I don't know how it got changed. I don't know what took place. All I know is it has been changed. And the culture in Denver is different. They believe in winning now. They believe that in any game they can win. Go back to the Vikings game. We came back and won that game. I mean, that's how it is. That's what you got to do. And look at the Buffalo Bills game. We came back. That's what it takes to have a winning team, a winning mindset, and a winning chance at the end of the game. Go back and look at John Elway in his days. And I know I keep flashing back to him, but hey, he was the pinnacle of how you're supposed to do it. He did it against the Cleveland Browns, against the Houston Oilers. He did it against many, many teams in his illustrious career. And that's what's transpiring again in Denver. And this is what we haven't had in 6 years. This is what Broncos country has been longing for. This is what we've all been wanting for. And now it's starting to happen. I'm not getting overexcited. I'm very cautiously optimistic because we still have 6 games left and the Broncos have to win 4 of the 6 in order to secure a 10-7 record. The Broncos are not guaranteed to make the playoffs at 9-8. And they're not really guaranteed to make it at 10-7. But it'd be easier to make it 10-7 than it would 9-6. So I'm optimistic. I'm cautiously optimistic. And I'll get into that on my Friday show heading into the game against Houston on Sunday as to the 2 teams I think the Broncos may lose to. Okay? So stay tuned for that Friday show coming up this Friday, December 1st, 5 p.m. Pacific, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, and 8 Eastern. All right? Tune in for that. I will tell you what I think about the upcoming 6 games one at a time. All right. Before I get out of here, D-Rock says 5 fumbles, 3 recovered by Denver. Come on, that's wild. How high? Mile high. You got that right there, D-Rock. Got that right. 5 fumbles, 3 recovered by Denver. Do you realize in the 5 wins that the Broncos have on their winning streak, they have created turnovers in all 5. They have more turnovers in each of those games against their opponents than the opponents have against them. The Broncos defense is absolutely electric right now. Absolutely electric. And they kept the Broncos in the game against the Vikings. They kept the Broncos in the game against the Buffalo Bills. That's the reason why the Broncos are winning these games, because the Broncos are learning how to win close games. When you win a game by 1 point like they did against the Vikings, those are close games. And those are games that they turned into wins instead of losses. There was a 2-point win over Buffalo. Again, they're learning how to win in close games instead of losing in those close games. That's the difference. Once again, guys, final score, Broncos on a 5-game winning streak, longest winning streak in the NFL right now, equaled with the Minnesota Vikings before the Broncos beat the Vikings 2 weeks ago. 5-game winning streak heading into Houston this coming Sunday, early game in the morning. Broncos are on a roll, guys. Let's keep it going. Before I head out, I'm going to get to just a few more comments in the chat. I really don't like to leave anybody out. Kamani says, yes, I agree. The Dolphins game made us a true football. made us a true football. It exposed all of our weaknesses. Absolutely. Yes, it did. And I think that that's another reason why they got turned around, because they were able to go into that game and game film and watch a beatdown of 70 points given up and go, whoa, that didn't work. That didn't work. Nothing worked. So they overhauled everything and they changed it. And now it's working. Come on in. Great insight. Great comment, man. No doubt about it. That's a great point too. Damian Warren makes it fantastic. Yes, I think this is what started the change of the culture in the locker room. Damian says they made some personnel changes like getting rid of Gregory, Clark, and Darby. Absolutely. And you're right, because if you have, people say, one bad apple, like the song, Jackson 5, one bad apple doesn't spoil the whole bunch. Yeah, it does. It does, unless it's separated from that bunch. But if it's in that bunch, if you put a little bit of arsenic in anything you cook, it's poison. You put anything that's not supposed to be in that recipe, it's going to change the recipe. It's going to change the flavor. It's going to change the outcome. And that's what Gregory, Clark, and Darby were. They were arsenic. They were cancers. They were poison in that locker room. And when the Broncos got rid of them, the Broncos' chemistry in that locker room totally changed. Totally changed. And it changed for the better. And sometimes it's okay to have players like that on your team, because you get to see that, hey, if they don't mesh, then you get rid of them and you move on. And now the solidification of the players is united. And that's what we're seeing with the Broncos. Also, I want to point out really quick before I get back in the chat that the PJ Locke being back there instead of Kareem Jackson. Kareem Jackson had a 4-game suspension for what the NFL deemed. I'm not even gonna get into it because I don't even believe it. But anyways, he's suspended for 4 games for an illegal hit. They said it was helmet to helmet, blah blah blah, whatever. Anyways, PJ Locke comes in. I think PJ Locke is a much better replacement for Kareem Jackson at safety. PJ Locke is a hitter as well. I mean, he hit Amari Cooper yesterday, knocked him out of the game. There was no flag thrown. I don't think it was a dirty hit. It wasn't helmet to helmet. It was in the shoulder. He didn't launch any of that stuff. No penalty whatsoever. But Amari Cooper was ruled out of the game. Obviously, that helped Denver. But I just think PJ Locke is a much better safety going forward than Kareem Jackson. I love the heck out of Kareem Jackson. I love the way he plays. Reminds me of Steve Atwater and Dennis Smith. But in today's watered-down NFL, can't have that kind of action. You might as well put flags on the guys like I mentioned before. But in any case, I really like the play of PJ Locke. I really like his game. All right. Let's see. Yes, I just mentioned that. D-Rock, absolutely. PJ Locke absolutely stood out yesterday. K-Jack, who? Wow, that's a little harsh there, D-Rock, but I understand where you're coming from. Yeah, I get it. Totally get it. But like I said, I love Kareem Jackson. I really do. But PJ Locke, he plays the game with intensity and, in my opinion, with a little bit more restraint, and still gets the job done. All right. Clayton Aron says, I tell you, coaching. Look at what we're doing, setting records left and right in the last 5 games. Yep. Yeah, we set a record with the score, 29-12. That's never been done in the NFL history before. Also setting records with turnovers per game total through 5 games. How we're winning. Yeah, there's a whole lot of firsts that the Broncos are doing. And it's just so much fun to watch. I mean, you've seen me come on and do the shows, Elevation Orange after a Bronco loss. And it's not fun. It's not fun. I got to come in here. I got to try and, give the take without being too brass and too not hypocritical, but too judgmental and all that. And it's tough to do. This isn't tough to do, guys. This is not tough to do. This is fun. It's enjoyable. The camaraderie in the chat is great. It's so much better atmosphere when you win. And like everybody says, winning changes everything. Absolutely. Winning changes everything. Yes, Kamani, I mean, we have a lot of stuff to clean up. Kamani says we're playing good, but we still have got stuff to clean up penalty-wise. Yes, we do. Penalties are a problem, and I don't know why they're a problem with this team. I really don't. They know they can't hold. They know that they can't bump beyond 5 yards. They know that they can't jump off sides or have false starts or delay a game. Those are all mental things, in my opinion. Those are mental. I don't know why they're committing these penalties. I don't get it. But beyond the penalties, we also have other things we need to clean up. And that is we need to clean up the I wouldn't say clean up, but I would say, let me change that. We don't need to clean it up. We need to stay focused on the team in front of us. And I think Sean Payton's doing a great job of keeping these guys focused. Broncos are going on the road this coming Sunday at Houston. Guess what logo is going to be on the 50-yard line of the Broncos practice field? That's right. The Texans logo. Why? Because Sean Payton wants to get the Broncos in the mindset that they're playing a road game. You're seeing the opponent's logo on your 50-yard line. In my opinion, like I stated last week, it has got to piss you off. It has to make you upset and say, no, this is our field. We're going to take back our field. We're wiping this logo off of here. Well, yeah, you know what? Go down to Houston and wipe that field off and put your logo on that field. That's what I'm talking about. And that's what's going to happen. That's how they got to be, and they got to stay focused. But, yeah, I totally agree, though. The penalties do need to get changed up. Absolutely needs to get corrected. No doubt about it. Dylan says, Bill, after the Dolphins game, we just snapped what it was, but something triggered our team, and now we are 5 wins in a row. That's what I'm saying. Something triggered, and I'm not sure. I don't know what it was. I really don't. I mean, everybody was calling for Vance Joseph's head, basically, to be on the chopping block. Not literally, but, fired. And for some reason, they kept him. And now look at us. I mean, now we're 5 games in a row in a winning streak. And who would have thought? Who would have thought? And I can't put my finger on what changed. I don't know. I absolutely don't know. The only thing I can go back to is the Gregory release. And what was the other one? It was Gregory, and let me get there. Hang on. It was Gregory. I saw it just a bit ago. It was Gregory and Clark and Darby. Yeah, I would have to say that that's the reason why there was a turnaround. You get rid of the negative comments or negative feeling in the locker room. You know that if you have let's say you have 10 people in a room, okay? You have 10 people in a room, and one guy walks in, everybody's happy. 10 people are all happy and having a good time. And one person walks in who has a negative attitude. They come in and go, and everybody goes, hey, man, how you doing? Well, screw it, man. I'm having a bad day. The whole room goes, woof. And the air comes out of it. The air comes out of the room. Why? Because you got a negative energy in that room that doesn't work. You can have 10 guys all happy and stuff, but you have one bad apple, again, sour grapes, the whole bit, whatever. You have someone like that come in the room, and it's going to get deflated. So what do? You get rid of the negative atmosphere. Get rid of Clark. Get rid of Gregory. That's what you do. You get rid of what you have to get rid of to make the team better. Absolutely. That, I really think, was one of the main key turning points, along with, I don't know, anything else. That's got to be one of the ones that was a turning point. All right. Okay. Okay, Dylan, you reminded me from yesterday. We need to mention something about them refs. All right, Dylan, you're right. Okay. I completely forgot about that. Okay, the referees yesterday. Let me touch on this. I promise, guys, this will be the last segment before I get out of here. let you guys get all back to your evening and your upcoming week. Okay, the referees yesterday, there were some calls that were horrendous. There was a holding penalty, I believe, on Cortland Sutton that wasn't even a holding penalty. How in heaven's name is that a holding penalty? And then you had the referees, just didn't have a clue what was going on. They were calling penalties that weren't there. They weren't calling penalties that should have been there. And the referees, in my opinion, don't have a clue as to consistency of what a foul is or what a penalty is. The hit that PJ Locke put on Amari Cooper, I didn't see that as being wrong, and it wasn't called. But there was a lot of people wanting it to be called. There were penalties that were called that shouldn't have been. Like I mentioned, the one Cortland Sutton got, that shouldn't have been a penalty. There was the hit on the quarterback in the end zone that the Broncos knocked out of the game. I forget, he's got three words to a name. He was in the act of throwing, and the ball is right here and just left his hand when the defender, I think it was Benito or something, hit him right here in the chest. And, of course, his head comes down, and Benito's head comes up, and it hits under the chin, and he gets a bloody lip. How in heaven's name is that a roughing the passer? What is Benito supposed to do? The ball, he's back like this, and he's throwing it this way, leaning forward, and Benito is he's within inches of the quarterback, and he hits him. What is he supposed to do? Mysterically vanish in the thin air? Not be there anymore? Seriously, what is it supposed to do? How is that roughing the passer? He didn't take 1 or 2 or 3 steps and then hit him. He didn't. He did not even launch. He was tackling the quarterback. And they called a 15-yard roughing the passer. Really? So you can't breathe on the quarterbacks? You can't touch the quarterbacks? You can't be in the vicinity of 5 yards from the quarterbacks? Is that what the NFL is getting into? Is it all because of Patrick Mahomes in the sweetheart of the freaking NFL? Is that what it is? Because sure looks like it to me. And this guy's not even a well-known quarterback for Cleveland. He's not. Deshaun Watson's injured, and he's the one filling in. I know you got to protect the quarterback. I get it. But holy smokes, you cannot prevent what is already happening when it's within the rules. He did not break the rule. He did not, like I mentioned, he did not take 1, 2, or 3 steps. He didn't. And he didn't launch. And he didn't go helmet to helmet. He hit him right here, just like Kareem Jackson did on Dobbs against the Vikings. He hits here. The person that gets hit, head's going to come down because of the impact, and then the helmet slides up. How is that their fault? It's not. It's not their fault. It did not hit helmet to helmet. It hit helmet to chest and slid up on both occasions. One was called with a foul, a penalty, and a 4-game suspension on Kareem Jackson. And the one yesterday by PJ Locke was not called. Was called for a penalty, which shouldn't have been. And neither one of them should have been a flag for a penalty. And PJ Locke didn't get suspension. So again, the NFL is targeting Kareem Jackson because they say he's playing dirty and he plays rough and he plays contrary to the rules. I totally disagree. Totally disagree. Because the reason why I disagree is it's not helmet to helmet. Now, yesterday, if you watch that game closely, there was a helmet to helmet. It was Justin Simmons hit I think it was a receiver running back along the sideline. He lowered his helmet. The running back lowered his helmet. They hit helmet to helmet. No call. None whatsoever. No foul. No call. No penalty. Nothing. Nope. They went helmet to helmet, guys. That's what I'm saying. The referees there's no consistency. Would I want a penalty on that for Justin Simmons? No. But the running back lowered his head too. Why wouldn't he get a penalty? How come it's always a defensive guy? Running backs lower their helmet every single time they run into the line. They lower their helmet. How come they're not getting penalized? Oh, because they're running back. and you got to take pity on them. This is getting pathetic, guys. It's absolutely getting pathetic. And yes, I'm getting wound up because that is really irritating to me. I have, as a fan, I have no idea what a penalty is anymore in the NFL. You know, you hit a quarterback within inches of him releasing the ball, and it's a personal foul, roughing the passer. But you make a hit some other way, some other time, whatever. It's not. I don't understand why these NFL referees are not full-time 100% NFL referees. Pay them to be 100% referees. Put them into schooling. Teach them how to call a freaking penalty or not call it. I mean, this is getting bad, guys. This is getting really, really bad. And I don't like it one bit. I don't. And the referees yesterday's game were pathetic. And they're not getting any better anytime soon that I can see. Whew, Dylan. Are you glad that you wanted me to talk about the referees? Because now you got me all spun up, dude. But it's true. The referees are absolutely pathetic. Unbelievable how one week it's a penalty, the next week it's not. 1 week it's not a penalty, but you're suspended. It's just unbelievably, just incredible. Let's see. Any more in the chat that let's see. Oh, Clayton says cold and getting windy there. That's not good. Clayton, that's not good, man. Yeah, it's winter's around the corner, guys. We're still in fall, but winter's right around the corner. Clayton says this Russ Wilson and Peyton thing is unbelievable. It's historic. It really is. It really is. I don't know of any of the Bronco team that's ever started out 1-5, and the next 5 games had not only a winning streak but had a winning record. I don't recall ever a Bronco team being like this. This is uncanny. It's absolutely. And guys, you realize if we make the playoffs, how historic that's going to be? Seriously, think about it. Starting out 1-5 and making the playoffs would be insane. That means we would have gone 9-2 in the next 11 games. That would be absolutely remarkable. I mean, just think about it. That would be phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Let's see. Okay. Kamani says we should be 8-3. I agree. We should have beaten Washington, and we should have beaten Vegas. We didn't. That's just the truth. That's just the truth. I agree. 8-3. Can you imagine 8-3? Wow. That would have been spectacular. Oh boy, we have an early prediction for next Sunday's game. Kamani is in the house and putting his neck out. Kamani says, and I'm going to mark this down, Kamani. Kamani says Broncos 27, Texans 23. All right, Kamani, I want you to be in the chat on the Friday show. I want you to either say that prediction again or change it if you want, whatever. But I'd like to see what you think going forward 4 days from now on Friday. So I'll be interested to see what that is. All right, SD Reams, thanks for being in the chat so much. Really appreciate it. How far do you think the Broncos will go this season? Originally, I said I thought they would go 10-7. And when the Broncos got off to a 1-5 start, I thought, well, 10-7, that ain't going to happen. Well, maybe it will. Maybe it will. Because if we can go 4-2 in the next 6 games, we'll be 10-7. And that's where I thought we would be. We've beaten teams I didn't think we would, but we've also lost teams I didn't think we would. So it evens out. Right now, I'm still thinking we're going to be 10-7. I don't know if that's going to be good enough to make the playoffs, but it'll be a heck of a lot better chance than a 9-8. So we have to go 4-2 in the next 6 games to assure the Broncos of a 10-7 record and a very, very good shot at making the playoffs. Thanks, S Dreams. Thanks, S Dreams. Really, really appreciate your question. Dylan says Vikings are losing. That's not good. That's not good. I'm a Vikings fan. Not my favorite fan, my second favorite fan, but it is my favorite fan, Excuse me. It's not my favorite team, but it's my favorite NFC team. And so I want the Vikings to do good. Hope they come back. Come on, you got to beat the Bears. The Broncos beat the Bears, so you got to beat the Bears. Come on, Vikings. Yeah, come on. I've said this many, many times. The referees don't like the Broncos. I don't know why. I don't know why they don't like the Broncos. I don't know if it goes back to Pat Bowlen. I don't know if it goes to Mike Shanahan. I know there was some roughing of the feathers with Shanahan stuff. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it's because of the dragging of their feet with the trust, the Pat Bowlen trust, with the kids taking over. I don't know what it is, but I sure do think and feel that the NFL does not like the Broncos, and neither do the referees. I don't know what the deal is. I can't put my finger on it, but something is out there where they just don't like it. It's just, I don't know. It's not good. It's not good because the Broncos are well loved across the country. They really are. There's a lot of Bronco fans everywhere, and I just don't know why the NFL has a very, very ugly way of looking at the Broncos, and for whatever reason, Broncos are in the doghouse, I guess. Ooh, I said doghouse after we played the Browns and the dog pound. Yeah, but we're not in the doghouse. Cleveland Browns are. That's where they are. They're in the dog pound, and we put them in the dog pound, locked the door, and threw away the key. That's what I'm talking about. All right, guys. I'm going to jump on out of here. Thanks each and everyone for being in the chat. You guys are amazing. You're the best ever. I couldn't ask for any better, chat and comments and guys supporting. Really do appreciate it. Of course, I'm going to go down the list and name each and every one of you because, like I mentioned many, many, many times, guys, you are the backbone. Each and every one of you watching and not in chat, or watching and in chat, or whatever the case may be, each and every one of you is the backbone of this show and this network. You are what makes me, what energizes me to come here, to do what I do, that I love to do, and to see each and every one of you and interact with you week in and week out, show in and show out. All right, guys, let me wrap this up. Big E, thanks so much. Big E, Broncos Country Cooking, Avatar, Dylan, David from Colorado, Kevon Johnson. Let's see, going down the list, some more. Jerry Wallace, thanks so much. Graham Tide, Damian Warren, thank you so much. Really do appreciate. Clayton Huron, Kamani Dixon, absolutely. D-Rock, just really do appreciate each and every one of you. Week in, week out, show in and show out. You guys are the absolute best. Love each and every one of you. Love seeing you guys in the chat and on the show. Thanks so much again, guys. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening. And like I say all the time, that's it, guys. That's all I have. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for everything you guys do for the show and the network, your thumbs up, your support, your subscriptions. Guys, thanks so much. Until this coming Friday on Broncos Breakdown at 5 p.m. Pacific time, you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. Don't forget the shows that are coming up the rest of this week. 5280 tomorrow, Wild Wild West Wednesday. We have the No Nonsense and Whiskey on Thursday, and as well as the what's it called? The Cluster Puck on Thursday, and Broncos Breakdown, my show, on Friday. Till then, guys, have a wonderful rest of your week. Enjoy the games tonight. We have the Vikings playing the Bears on NFL Monday night. We have the Colorado Avalanche at home playing the Tampa Bay Lightning at Ball Arena, starting at 6 p.m. It started 9 minutes ago Pacific time. You guys have a wonderful rest of your night and week. Talk to you this coming Friday. Till then, guys, take care.
Fast lane when I pass in the street, bag of money in the passenger seat. Simcoe's been asking for me on the road from the west to the east. might never come down, cause the coast's racking up the flame out. So high, I might never come down, so what, this is my lifestyle.